Libra and Aries. The importance of balancing your emotions. Let's talk about it. I'm Lamar Townsend. If you're a first time watcher, I'm a natural intuitive, clairvoyant, clairaudient, empathic, psychic tarot reader, and I would love to do a personal, private, confidential tarot reading for you or a birth chart reading. I am also an astrologist, a zodiac enthusiast, as well as an artist. Okay, so with that being said, check out my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the notification button so you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. Contact me at lamartownsendtarot.com for your own personal, private, confidential birth chart reading or tarot reading, okay? My tarot readings are $1 per minute. My birth chart readings are $45 for a 30-minute in-depth birth chart reading, okay? If you have any other questions, check out the FAQ section as well as the personal ethics section on my website, lamartownsendtarot.com, okay? Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Lamar Townsend, like me on Facebook, facebook.com/LamarTownsendOfficial, and I would also love it if you would follow me on Google+, okay? With that being said, Libra and Aries, the importance of balancing your emotions. Well, we know the common trope, the common theme with the Libra. Libras are all about balance, and harmony, especially when it comes to their surroundings and their inner self. I can attest to this. I'm a Libra moon, okay? But I think one thing that we Libras tend to maybe not understand or not appreciate is our ability to balance our emotions and our inner selves, and therefore balance the emotions of other people around us, right? As a Libra, we, or as a Libra, you Libras, Libras tend to be people pleasers, okay? Sorry for making you move like that. But Libras tend to be people pleasers, all right? Naturally. And because of that, Libras, in their quest to please other people around them, they can find themselves imbalanced. Because, it's quite difficult to, please other people around you, and it's quite difficult to balance the emotions of other people around you when you yourself are not balanced, right? It's oftentimes Libras find themselves feeling responsible for other people around them, and that's something that Libras, need to work on themselves, give the power that people give over to you back to those same people. Does that make sense? That's one way to balance your emotions. The other way to balance your emotions is just to take responsibility over your own life and solely your life, okay? Of course, if you have kids, pets, something like that, that's different. But otherwise, you are responsible for your emotions. You are responsible for your happiness. You are responsible for, any other thing that you yourself need to live, need to survive, you are all you need, Libra, right? And I think that's something Libras tend to forget. You must balance your emotions first. You must balance your scales first, Libra, before you can balance the emotions or scales of another person. Now, we've talked about Libra. Let's talk a little bit about Aries, okay? Your polar opposite sign, all right? Now, I've done a video on this, so check it out. I'll probably link it to this video at the end of this video if I remember, all right? But each zodiac sign has a polar opposite sign, and each element has a polar opposite element, okay? So the polar opposite element of air is fire. The polar opposite element of water is earth, all right? Therefore, naturally, as an air sign, your polar opposite sign is going to be a fire sign. As a fire sign, your polar opposite sign is going to be an air sign. Now, as I was saying, Libra and Aries are polar opposite signs. One thing I find with polar opposite signs is that polar opposite signs tend to actually inhabit or tend to have the same qualities but in different aspects and different ways, okay? So let's think of it this way. When a Libra is imbalanced, when a Libra scales, their inner self, their inner emotions are imbalanced, they tend to act unlike themselves. They tend to act irrational. They tend to act impulsive. They can sometimes even have a temper and be very angry and, curt with people. Almost like an Aries, right? Well, on the flip side, when an Aries, is in their dark side and, in their shadow side, Aries can be um, difficult. Aries can be indecisive. Aries can be passive aggressive. Um, Aries can also be I'm trying to think of another quality that a Libra would have in their dark side that is like an Aries. Or I'm trying to think of yeah, yeah, I said that right. I can't think of anything basically. Okay, so basically an Aries acts like similar to a Libra in their dark side, okay? They have similar traits to a Libra in their dark side. So when a Aries is imbalanced, they tend to be indecisive. They tend to act irrational, of course. They tend to, basically look outside of themselves. They look outside of themselves. They look outside, and try to control their surroundings, their environments, the people around them to balance their emotions, right? Similar like a Libra would, right? But we have to understand that these two zodiac signs come from two completely different perspectives in that same respect, right? Libra ruled by Venus. Venus is all about harmony, passion, friendship, bond building, and things of that nature. Beauty, just being peaceful, having a peaceful surrounding, a harmonious surrounding, a harmonious environment. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is all about destruction, war, aggression, sexual desire, and things of that nature. So when an Aries is imbalanced, and Aries can become destructive, and Aries can become, very easily angered. And once again, it's all about balancing those inner emotions yourself. It's your responsibility to balance your own inner emotions, Aries. It's your own responsibility to make yourself happy, right? And I think sometimes, once again, Libra and Aries can tend to maybe blame their surroundings or other people for their imbalance. But that's because you're looking externally to balance your inner self, for which you should actually be looking internally, all right? So Libra, becomes like an Aries when they're imbalanced. They become just very angry, and they just kind of will go off on people maybe because they're angry. They're um looking externally to balance their inner selves when they should be looking internally. And that's a tough spot to be in for Libra because other people to you to balance their own inner selves. So when a Libra's like, it just throws the whole schema off, right? And a Libra feels that. And it's like, but I need you to balance me. Why aren't you balancing me? I balance you all the time. What's happening here? Why is this dynamic not working, right? It's a really like frustrating moment for Libra. Aries, on the other hand, is just a very naturally controlling sign with that Mars energy, right? Um, and Aries with that controlling energy, much like Libra, much like Libra, but not the same as Libra. Aries expects his or her surroundings to be the same. Aries expects his or her surroundings to maybe bend to his or her will. Aries expects his or her surroundings to, kind of like Libra, balance their inner self. Aries can tend to once again look externally for validation, look externally for happiness, for joy, for whatever it is they need that they themselves for some reason can't feed themselves, whether it be, validation, attention, emotional stability, So an Aries will become like a Libra, very indecisive and non-committal and passive aggressive, and it's just like Aries is, when an Aries is in that moment, they're looking once again externally for something that they should be looking internally for, all right? It's up to you once again to balance your emotions, okay? You need to kind of bring forth those Libra qualities that you have, those dark side, I keep saying dark side, those shadow side Libra qualities that you have, Aries, as Libra being your polar opposite sign, and balance your inner emotions yourself, okay? Um, for Libra, Libra is all about nature, harmony, peace. So a Libra balancing their inner emotions may spend time in nature, may spend time doing artwork or, doing something creative, making something beautiful, like making their surroundings more peaceful and harmonious by doing things that they can actually change. Does that make sense? So like a Libra may like paint like a wall in their room or something like that. Like that's like how a Libra would take out that frustration and also balance their emotions at the same time, right? That's a very therapeutic moment. Of course, not all Libras are the same. Some Libras like to work on cars. I mean, we're all different, right? But we all have that thing that balances our emotions. That inner thing that brings us joy, right? That inner self thing that only we can do by ourselves or maybe with someone other people, and it just grounds us, right? Aries, you're ruled by Mars, that aggressive, nature. Maybe, you take it out, by playing sports, or, going for a jog or something like that, just being active. Like, of course, no Aries is the same. Some Aries enjoy theater and, music and things like that. Like Libras, very creative people. Some Aries, it's just all different. Some Aries like to read. Some Libras like to read, right? It's doing whatever that thing is that brings you joy, that fulfills you, but that also balances your emotions, that grounds you, and causes you, instead of looking outward externally, to look inwardly, to have a moment of solitude, introspection, to spiritually transcend what's happening and see the lesson in it all. Does that make sense? Because, you know, otherwise you are, gonna just continuously look externally outside of yourself to balance your emotions, to ground yourself. But no one can do that for you except for you, you know? That's why it's so important, Libra and Aries, for you guys to have emotional stability, to seek emotional stability, but to also have the ability to emotionally stabilize yourself and ground yourself, okay? It's a very important trait. Because when you look externally, you give people the power. Like, you give people your power. Remember, Libra, when people look to you to kind of like balance their emotions, they're giving you your power. You know how daunting that can be to have someone else's power given to you. But it can also be daunting on that other person because that person's giving you that power, whether consciously or unconsciously. It's even worse when someone is consciously giving you their power, which tends to happen a lot with you, Libra and Aries. I'll say that too. Aries, are very strong people, ruled by the Emperor and Terra. I mean, come on. It's a very powerful card, a very powerful status. So this is why seeking emotional stability and groundedness is so important for you, Libra and Aries. I hope I explained this to the best of my abilities. Of course, I'm not going on a script, as I tend to not do with a lot of these videos, but I think that is the fun of it. That's kind of the improvisation of it all, I guess. Like it's real, it's live, it's YouTube, it's 2020. 17. It's the new millennium, all right? That being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some clarity and insight. Please contact me for your own personal tarot reading or your own birth chart reading, okay? I cannot wait to hear from you. Until then, I wish you nothing but the best, love, health, and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of success. And the ability to balance your own inner emotions and your own inner self, okay? I want you to have a stronger connection to your inner self, Libra and Aries, okay? Very important, all right? With that being said, I love you guys. Peace out, all right?